Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH9 completing the sales comparison approach. PG22 implementation of the market conditions addendum to the appraisal report from 1004 MC. Notes print. Leave a comment. Implementation of the market conditions addendum to the appraisal report form 1004 MC. Fannie Mae announcement 0830. Fannie Mae purchases or securitizes mortgages in all markets and under all market conditions. The current appraisal report forms require the appraiser to report on the primary indicators of market condition for properties in the subject neighborhood by noting the trend of property values, increasing, stable, or declining, the supply of properties in the subject neighborhood, shortage, imbalance, or oversupply, and the marketing time for properties, under 3 months, 3 to 6 months, or over 6 months, as of the effective date of the appraisal. Fannie Mae also expects the appraiser to provide their conclusions for the reasons a market is experiencing declining market values, an oversupply of properties, or marketing times over 6 months. To further enhance the transparency of the conclusions made by the appraiser related to market trends and conditions, the Form 1004 MC will be required for all mortgage loans delivered to Fannie Mae with appraisals of 1 to 4 unit properties with an effective date on or after April 1st, 2009. A sample of the form is attached to this announcement. In addition, the form is posted on efanniemae.com. Note, as of August 2018, the 1004 MC is no longer required by Fannie Mae. However, many lenders still require it to be completed. Even if it is no longer required, many appraisers still use it as a convenient way to summarize market conditions. As such, we will cover this form briefly in this course. End of page. Chapter start. 56%. Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH9 completing the sales comparison approach. PG23 guidelines for using Form 1004 MC. Notes print. Leave a comment. Guidelines for using Form 1004 MC. Form 1004 MC is intended to provide the lender with a clear and accurate understanding of the market trends and conditions prevalent in the subject neighborhood. The form provides the appraiser with a structured format to report the data and to more easily identify current market trends and conditions. The appraiser's conclusions are to be reported in the neighborhood section of the appraisal report. Fannie Mae recognizes that all of the requested data elements for analysis are not equally available in all markets. In some markets, it may not be possible to retrieve the total number of comparable active listings from earlier periods. If this is the case, the appraiser must explain the attempt to obtain such information. Also, there may be markets in which the data is available in terms of an average as opposed to a median. In this case, the appraiser needs to note that his or her analysis has been based on an average representation of the data. Regardless of whether all requested information is available, the appraiser must provide support for his or her conclusions regarding market trends and conditions. End of page. Chapter start. 56%. Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH9 completing the sales comparison approach. PG24 inventory analysis section. Notes print. Leave a comment. Inventory analysis section. The inventory analysis section assists the appraiser in analyzing important supply and demand factors in order to reach a conclusion regarding housing trends and market conditions. When completing this section, the appraiser must include the comparable data that reflects the total pool of comparable properties from which a buyer may select a property in order to analyze the sales activity and the local housing supply. One of the tools used to monitor these trends is the absorption rate. The absorption rate is the rate at which properties for sale have been or can be sold, marketed, within a given area. To determine the absorption rate, the appraiser divides the total number of settled sales by the time frame being analyzed. The months of housing supply is based on the total listings for the applicable period divided by the absorption rate. Example. Step 1. Calculate the absorption rate. If there were 60 sales during a 6-month period, example, prior 7/12 months column, the absorption rate is 10 sales per month, 66ths. Step 2. Calculate the months of housing supply. If there are 240 active listings, there is a 24-month supply of homes on the market, 240 active sales / 10 sales per month. This may support the appraiser's conclusion that there is an oversupply of homes on the market. Anomalies in the data such as seasonal markets, new construction, or other factors must be addressed in the form. End of page. Chapter start. 56%. Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH9 completing the sales comparison approach. PG25 median sale and list price, DOM, list/sale ratio section. Notes print. Leave a comment. Median sale and list price, DOM, list/sale ratio section. The appraiser must analyze additional trends, including the changes in median prices and days on the market, DOM, for both sales and listings, as well as a change in list-to-sales price ratios. Example. If the median comparable sale prices are $300,000, $295,000, and $305,000 for their respective time periods, the overall trend for the prior 12 months is relatively stable. Overall trend section. The overall trend section is designed to reflect potential positive trends, neutral trends, or negative trends in inventory, median sale, and list price, days on market, list-to-sale price ratio, and seller concessions. Example. An increase in the absorption rate is generally viewed as a positive trend, whereas a decrease in the absorption rate may be viewed as a negative trend. Furthermore, a decrease in the number of days on the market, either sales or listings, more than likely represents an overall positive trend. End of page. Chapter start. 56%. 56%. Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH9 completing the sales comparison approach. PG26 seller concessions. Notes print. Leave a comment. Seller concessions. Form 1004MC also provides a section for comments on the prevalence of seller concessions and the trend in seller concessions for the past 12 months. The change in seller concessions within the market provides the lender with additional insight into current market conditions. The appraiser should consider and report on seller-paid or third-party costs. Examples of these items include, but are not limited to mortgage payments, points and fees, and in condominium or cooperative projects, items such as homeowners association fees and guaranteed rental programs. Seller concessions must be carefully analyzed by the appraiser, since excessive concessions often lead to inflated property values. There are a number of markets across the country where, due to current conditions, there has been an increase in the prevalence of seller concessions. The following excerpt from the Selling Guide, Part 11, Section 406.5c, provides guidance for these circumstances. The need to make negative dollar adjustments for sales and financing concessions and the amount of the adjustments to the comparable sales are not based on how typical the concessions might be for a segment of the market area. Large sales concessions can be relatively typical in a particular segment of the market and still result in sale prices that reflect more than the value of the real estate. Adjustments based on dollar-for-dollar deductions that are equal to the cost of the concessions to the seller, as a strict cash equivalency approach would dictate, are not appropriate. We recognize that the effect of the sales concessions on sales prices can vary with the amount of the concessions and differences in various markets. The adjustments must reflect the difference between what the comparables actually sold for with the sales concessions and what they would have sold for without the concessions, so that the dollar amount of the adjustments will approximate the reaction of the market to the concessions. For further information regarding seller concessions in the appraisal, refer to the Selling Guide, Part 11, Section 205 and Section 406.05, C, for additional guidance not referenced above. Foreclosure sales and summary/analysis of data. The presence and extent of foreclosure/REO sales is worthy of comment when analyzing market data and must be reported on the form. The form also allows for the appraiser to summarize the data and provide other data analysis or additional information, such as analysis of pending sales, which over time can show a market trend. End of page. Chapter start. 56%.